for that summary of the position. It's really is good that you spoke with us first, because that really is the standard, the ideal that has been set out constitutionally. How do you see that playing out, Pradyot?
Well, thank you so much for your kind words in the beginning. I obviously haven't come as well prepared as Sir, but I do believe that one is what is written and one what is practiced. And since you invoked history, I think whenever there has been a powerful ruler, whether it was the Mughals under Akbar or Aurangzeb, or for the matter a very powerful East India Company, or for that matter the British, or when Indiraji was there, and now when we have the Modi Sarkar, whenever there has been a strong center, there has been at some level a certain amount of dilution of federalism, and that has been practiced across. But I keep on telling this to all those who are in power today, that power is not permanent, and even the highest and the mightiest have had to bite the dust. Following what is written in the Constitution is one thing, and actually practicing it is another. I myself can, since Sir is from the Election Commission, I can give you a prime example. I was the Congress President, party which now Supriya proudly represents, and something which I'm always been very close to the party. And I remember the 2019 elections, and we went and we met the Election Commission with the top Congress leaders. I was the PCC President, and there was mass-scale rigging. 167 booths had to be repolled again. We went to the Supreme Court. We got no relief in the Election Commission. We went to the Supreme Court. It took them 10 seconds to kick a case out, though it was being represented by some of the top lawyers. That was one point when I realized that when the machinery has made up its mind in Delhi, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, what is written in the Constitution, eventually will be practiced by who is at the top and how powerful they are. So for federalism to thrive in India, it is very important to have a very strong opposition. It is very important to have checks and balances, and it is very important for politicians to show some spine. Because with all due respect to bureaucracy, bureaucracy has not made us politicians. We have been chosen by democracy. And bureaucracy will toe a line of those who are in power, and especially when they don't see an option of somebody else coming back to power.
Yes.
Federalism today, in 3 lines, is under grave danger. Federalism today needs to be further strengthened, and it is entirely up to the opposition to realize this and work together, or have a certain amount of understanding, because a center without any opposition is not only dangerous for politics, is dangerous for India. We also need the center to be on their toes, because everyone works their best when they are pushed to a corner or when they are pushed to the brink.
Supriya, let us in on the secret that you guys have been sharing.
I agree that the Election Commission is a toothless tiger. It was not when Sheshan was there.
Exactly.
But then that was changed. The current Prime Minister of India also was a Chief Minister.
At the time of the session, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi has inducted 2 more.
No, it was Narasimha Rao. Narasimha Rao. I'm sorry, it was Narasimha Rao.
Yes.
Rajiv Gandhi
carry on, please.
Was the Prime Minister till 89. It was PV Narasimha Rao.
So they have inducted 2 more commissioners.
I know, Krishnamurthy
Yes.
and
they were sidelined by the session.
Yes, as soon as Pradyot is done, do please illuminate
come
on
back.
this. Thank you.
The fact is, it's a toothless tiger henceforth, since 1994, if I'm not mistaken. And the most interesting part is our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji was himself the Chief Minister of Gujarat when Centre was keenly fighting against him in Gujarat, and he spoke about Gujarat Asmitav, which was a part of federalism. It was also very interesting to note that when someone from the Northeast, James Michael Lingdor, was the Chief Election Commissioner, his religion was invoked during the elections. comparing it to somebody from the Congress, the UPA chairperson at that time. I think the model code of conduct has always been violated, and till the time the election commission isn't given independent power, it will always just be a advisory body to politicians. A very important part of federalism, and because I come from a very small state of Northeast we have very small states, Goa, very small state, the role of a governor. According to me, the role of a governor should be clearly defined. Personal opinion, please don't quote me on it, but this is my personal opinion. It should be scrapped because it is a legacy of the British Raj. It's a burden on the exchequer. The governor lives in a Raj Bhavan. It's extremely colonial, and he or she should be moved away. But the role of the governor is extremely important, and in states, smaller states, including a big state like Maharashtra, the role of a governor has come under heavy scrutiny, and it would be a less controversial statement to say today, but the governor today is completely gone against the basis of neutrality, and the governor acts on the whims and fancies of those who are in Delhi.
The muscle of the center.
The muscle of center. And the judiciary here then takes up the matter, and you wait till years to come, and by then the MLAs are comfortable where they are because there's something called status quo. So if we need to strengthen federalism, I do believe that our founding fathers of the constitution, we tend to always go back, Omar Bhai, that, oh, the great founding fathers of our constitution, the great thinkers, they did not think about decay in morality. They spoke from a point of view where they thought that this was the India they wanted. Today, the constitution needs to be relooked, revisited, and more checks and balances need to come if you want federalism to survive. I do agree that Karnataka looks like a very good situation for the Congress party. I do believe that Chhattisgarh looks the same, but I'm extremely worried in a case like Bihar, or in states like in parts of Uttar Pradesh, where there is a close fight. You will actually see a lack of level playing field, and that is something which disturbs us. Today in Manipur, I've got a press release, 8 out of the 10 Kuki MLAs have asked for a separation from Manipur. They are from BJP. Why is this happening? This is happening because there is internal strife, and the government of India needs to empower, no matter how small the community, no matter how small the state needs to feel that they are a part in the nation building, and that can never happen if diktats are sent from Delhi to the state.
Your thoughts should...
And being neutral here, and one has to look within. I think a lot of the problem, let's leave Northeast out, a lot of problems in Kashmir happened when a popular chosen government in 1987 was not allowed to, when people were not allowed to exercise their free mandate, and that led to a lot of frustration amongst the people in Kashmir, which led to militancy. So there have been instances, we're talking about Punjab, and very rightfully you picked up Punjab. I do believe that when people's choices are not respected and they see it openly, blatantly, then there is a vacuum. And let's be very honest, there are people who are across the border, not just in Pakistan, but in China, in parts of our neighborhood, which would like to see Indian democracy weaken. And if Indian democracy is weakened, it will be when there is a weakening of the federalism as well. So that's something which I would like to add.
Umar,
I can say something in this. And I'm patriotic, so let me put a caveat here, because otherwise I'll get into a lot of problems. Anyway, I come from a disturbed area as perceived. You know, India had a Upapramukh before the governor's role had come. And why don't we make an Indian form of governor? I mean, why are we taking everything from the British and just putting it for ourselves? Have a indigenous role of a person, like we used to have Upapramukhs before the constitution was made, but get away with the colonial hangover. I completely think that we need to get over this. And there's an expenditure, waste in the expenditure. And why elect a governor when you have elected the chief minister, you've elected the ministers, you've elected the MLAs? A role of a neutral Upapramukh could be anyone, but the person should be well conversant and should not be a retirement position for a fading, aging, old politician. It could be anyone. You had some great governors who have served the nation, generals, brigadiers, civil servants. So why not have them who understand the law and who will basically put a certain amount of integrity and proprietary in that position. Your last thing about electing people, and what even Supriya said, we are not criticizing our country, we love our country. We represent a country. But the essence of representing your country is also, when you're speaking to the Indian diaspora here, to tell you how we can improve our country, and we want to improve our country. And the country cannot be improved by one man's vision. It has to be collectively improved. The one man's vision can be he or she could be on top, but our views also have to be accepted. India cannot be an implementation of one man's dream. It has to be a dream of billions. And so, for that to prosper, for that to be well represented, you will need to have a very clear check and balances. This is no longer, I belong to the royal family, erstwhile royal family. ये राजा का शासन नहीं है कि राजा ने जो सोचा वही होगा. This is the time where even the simplest, the most common denominator has a voice, and that has to be respected. And that can be with equality. On a lighter note, because she's saying that I'm very pessimistic today, I had a very long conversation with her leader, who was a good friend of ours, Rahul Gandhi, had a good thing. And I said, create more states. If America, with a population of 40 million, can have 50 states, 52 states, then why can't India, with a population of 1.4 billion now, have another more states? That way you will control the checks and balances. Today you win UP, you won half of India. You bring in a bit of Bihar and UP and parts of Madhya Pradesh, and India is one. So then we are insignificant. South does not matter. So the idea is that, I mean, I'm saying it in, I said it in jest, but actually I seriously mean it. Create more states. And I am telling you, disruption is not bad always. Disruption is good. I think you need to create, you need to break the monopoly and the complete domination of a few regions, because today we are actually giving credence to population. This country says, हम दो हमारे दो, and then rewards those जो बोलते हैं कि हमारे पास तो 10 करोड़ लोग हैं, आपके पास तो सिर्फ 4 लाख हैं. So then in that case, you're going against your basic policy. We are rewarding population growth rather than economic growth. So it is very important for us to actually redistribute and the domination of states, and it will be wonderful, and it will be great for the development of UP if you have Harit Pradesh. It will be great if you have Bundelkhand. I mean, why on earth shouldn't the Gorkha people have Gorkha land? Why not?
Right. You're the final two questions. Pradyot, please.
So I'm also a student of history, and what you said about Chandragupta Maurya, we were strong. During the Mughals, we were strong. Because of the hard-line approach of Aurangzeb, Chhatrapati Shivaji also came. He was not a foreign power. Because of the hard-line position, I remember my father was a member of parliament in the Congress, and during the 70s, if anyone questioned some of the leaderships in the Congress party at that time, who now are in BJP, incidentally, so they were said that you have foreign hand, American hand, and then there was this line that, oh, ISI. So resistance to a strong center does not necessarily come from invading forces from outside. Today, look at our neighbors. I mean, if you look beyond China, Pakistan is a destroyed state. We don't need to worry about Pakistan. The fact is that a strong center can also weaken India within. if it's not responsible? Would we say that Vajpayee ji was